Now that we've finished the vignette, I want to continue on with this story. As you can see, I have my familiar here. You're my familiar, right? We finished with the vignette. We found out about what's going on in the background. You know, these are things that Nathan is not supposed to be aware of. So as the game progresses, please feel free to remind me in comments if I make a trip back to the bar and I don't make an awareness check for the people that are watching the bar. As we know that there are some people watching for somebody with what looks like Nathan's description running around. Shouldn't be hard to find. There's not all that many dwarves in the area, or it would definitely be something different other than other races of people. The last thing that we had activity-wise for Nathan was that Blaze had directed Bexley, which is Nathan's boss, to go and talk to the buyer. And I don't have an idea of who that person is. I knew that there was a proxy waiting for Nathan to pick up the book. And so the idea would be that at some point the proxy would go back to the buyer, right? Given the reason for this book that we're not fully understanding yet, Nathan and Bexley are going to go and talk to the buyer. And that is somebody only Blaze knew. And I've been looking at the Solar Adventures Toolkit as part of just a myriad of, I would say, system agnostic tables that we can use. So I actually bought part 1 and part 2, which are available on DriveThruRPG. I will put in links to those in the show notes going forward. I think that will help with spreading the word, because there's a lot of great content in here. There's actually several supplements on DriveThruRPG that are really good for solo roleplay. So I will add what I have, and it's extensive because I have bought everything, I think. The good thing is if you buy part 2, it has a list, a reference list that you can quickly scan through and go, well, I want to use that one, or I want to use this. So we are looking for probably an NPC type table. Let me see, NPC tables, there we go. So we're looking at solo, so page 98 through 103 of part 1 of the doc. So let me see, I'm on page 114, so I'm not far away. I was looking at, but I was actually just walking through this. They have some great stuff in here, like 499 verbs situations table, for example, or 2d20 monsters. So if you have, 2d20, you can go and create creatures that might be available to you. I'm on page 106. And they even have things like other things that I wouldn't have even thought about, like urban events or forest events, and it's really nice because if I get stuck, then I can roll D100 and have at. So let me find profession table, alignment table, NPC generator. Okay, so I feel like I need to put this up on the screen, or my play screen. So you see I have my PowerPoint slides that I have that I can cycle through various tables. I pulled some of these from Scarlet Heroes. Like I said, I've bought everything, right? So looked through some of these items as well. If you have, if you want thoughts on those, I guess I could create some videos on that, but everybody's done it. So you can go and find out how people feel about Scarlet Heroes or some of those other items. I'm just a collector. So that's just how I am. So I keep these up because these are our yes or no questions. These also came from Scarlet Heroes. I think some of these also came from other supplements, but definitely Scarlet Heroes for these D100s. And incidentally, I'm also thinking about maybe dropping the fate part, unless I can figure out a more compelling way of using it. Things like refresher fate points have always been kind of foreign to me. So unless I can create a condition during gameplay where I'm doing that, it feels like cheating if I just give myself fate points, because the GM in Fate is technically supposed to have unlimited Fate points. So maybe there's a dice mechanic, like if I roll a +4, I roll above a certain level on a difficulty, then I get the ability to have luck points or fate points or something. Or maybe I don't have anything at all for that, and I just use the aspects portion and the skills ladder for that, and then I just get rid of fate points altogether, which actually would make things a lot simpler for me. But at that point, then you don't need aspects, because you use aspects to get fate points to do things at the race table. Yeah. So there's a bunch here. I mean, some of these I probably won't even use, but the idea of the solo adventure toolkit is to use all the races that are in 5e, which will also work maybe in Pathfinder as well if you wanted to do that as well. Things like I really don't want the ASMR in there, or the tieflings, so to speak. Just not a fan of the whole celestial thing. So if they do come up, then we'll re-roll. But all right, let me get my 10-sided dice. All right, I got two 10-sided dice. 20. Well, that makes it easy. It's a human. Yeah, see, it's based on Faerun demographics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, see, okay, that sucks, because you'd think they'd want it. Certain races are more common in other areas. Oh, I'm already sucking here, Jesus. Which is ironic, because I didn't really want elves. Wasn't a fan of the dwarves, and it doesn't seem to have anything on there. All right, well. All right, so wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. So there's a couple of new races that I have. I have the Heron Gone, which are Bexley's Heron Gone. There's the Taurens, and there are air people, and there are sea people. So I would say we're going to roll 12-sided die, which is this one. And I will roll it, and we will figure it out. So, like, instead of Tiefling and ASMR, we'll have the Taurens and the turtle people, the underwater sea people. So, all right. It's a 1. All right, well, that makes it easy. Okay, still a human. All right, fine. Human. Well, we'll make it easy for now. Ideally, the person that's going to want the book, I would say, according to our profession table, might be, I don't think it's any of these folks. So what we will do is we will say that this is a noble human, and we need a name. See, this is a good one here. Urban events, like, Conference of Wizards or something. All right, so a human noble by the name of Jasper. I'm going to write this down so I don't forget it. Human noble Jasper Minsby wanted the book and sent the proxy to get it. Okay. Jasper lives in the better part of town. I would say the older part of town. If we go to our map. Okay. Let me see. No, not the warehouse district. I would say the old city. We live in the old city area. So that is right. So in the old, I'd say the Eastern District. Jasper obviously did not want himself implicated in this. That is why the proxy was sent. And the proxy told Blaze that they didn't get the book and they're not going to pay. Bexley and Nathan are going to go talk to Jasper. Now, given that Jasper is somewhat affluent and probably lives in this manor house right here, it's not going to be easy to get in. And it's ironic. I'm gonna have to retcon this because I did not realize that they were so close. It would not make sense for them to make the trade here this far over here just to be like down the street. So I'm gonna say they live in the old city. They're old money. They probably live, or they probably are here instead. Jasper lives here. in the old city. For now, and because we're not really playing Freeport as Freeport, none of the legends matter so much. So we can pick any place in the area. So if you notice, this is the green area where the cart was taken after the issue here near the bar. So it's going to take Nathan and Bexley, I would say, in a good hour to leave the area. Where are Bexley and Nathan right now? I think that's going to be the important thing to ask. Are they making my thinking was that they're going to get up from where they live. I would say Nathan and them don't live there, but so if I were Nathan, I would get up from whatever hidey hole or whatever place I lived at, if at all possible. And first thing I would do is I would go to the bar because that's where I'm expecting to meet Bexley. And I have no idea that I'm going to be potentially seen by somebody or that somebody's looking for me, right? I'm thinking I got away scot-free, right? So what I want to do is ask the question, do the people that are watching in that area see Nathan? And Nathan doesn't know he's being looked for. The people who are looking for Nathan don't exactly know it's him. So he could be mistaken for somebody else, or there could be other things. So I'm going to give it a 50-50 because one, they have to be there at the time that Nathan is walking by, have to be alert, have to be looking for somebody who looks like Nathan. Now, the time of day that Nathan's going to the bar, there's not many people, so I will give it 60. I'll give it 60. So anything 1 to 60 is a yes, anything higher than 60 is a no. Oh god. Okay. So I rolled exactly a 60. Because it is right on the dot. I mean, it is right on the dot. I'm going to say, and as we role play this, so Nathan, he's walking down the street, he's, zipping into the bar. How many people? I'm gonna say D3. So I'm gonna say 1, 2, or 3. Because given the amount of money that these crystals cost, there's somebody wanting these crystals, right? So the people who are supposed to bring them in are asked out of money. They're in trouble as well. And Nathan's got the crystals. So I'm going to say D3. Okay, so 3, 4 is a 2. So 2 people are watching. Given the 60% chance, and we were right on the mark with it being a yes or no. And this in this case, yes, that means somebody did spot Nathan, right? Let's be specific about this. But I'm going to say it's one of the people. It's not, it's like not confirmed by both. So one person thinks they see somebody that looks very much like Nathan walk into the bar. And I forget the name of the bar. They walk into the bar that Nathan has been going into where the Thieves Guild is. They go to check out. There's my familiar again. You gonna get up here? Don't sneeze on me. They go into one of the watchers goes to the other one who may be further down the street. He says, "Oh, Curvin, I think I saw him. I think I saw somebody that looks like him." The other one is, Curvin. I don't. I'm actually spelling it Curvan. Curvin and so Curvin is maybe an error person, an error critter. Shut up! That's your face. You're ruining my narrative. Oh my goodness. Look, this is my show, not yours. He's like, "Oi, Kevin, I think I saw somebody that looks like the one people that you know, oh yeah, Dolly. I think I see the person that Dolly mentioned. She described somebody who looked very similar to him. Grot, yeah, Grot, and Grot, who is talking to Curvin. Maybe he's an orc. Maybe he's an orc, which might be a little weird, but not in this part of town because it's kind of on the boundaries of the East District and what have you. So Curvin's like, ah, you know, maybe he's got like a raveny sound. So, oh, show me where he is. So during that time, Nathan is going into the bar, and Bexley's already there, right? Because Bexley doesn't look anything like Nathan. Um, the minute that Bexley sees Nathan, Bexley's like, "All right, we got to go, man. We got to scoot." So my thought is that yes, Curvin or Gore, Ghor, did in fact see Nathan, but by the time Curvin and Gore get back to the bar, or get back to the area where they saw him, which would be in around, I'd say, this area, Bexley and Nathan have gone in a different direction, maybe around this area, because there's another reason for them to want to go that way. So maybe they're going up and around this way because it's, they're trying to keep a low profile. Maybe they don't want to be seen leaving the bar. And so, maybe they make their way up this way, and Curvin and Gore come back and they don't find anything. They don't see the person. They go into the bar and there's nobody there. Maybe this is a place that both of them have visited because it's nearby, maybe, or whatever. But nobody's in the bar. And they ask, oh, was there a couple of blokes in here? And bartender, who I haven't given a name to yet, but I feel like I'm gonna need to, says, no, I haven't seen anybody. And that will be important. So bartender knows someone asked after Nathan. Okay, so that's important. That's an important fact to remember, because Gore and Curvin are like, oh, he, looked like a, dwarf, and he, had this, whatever. The bartender's like, nope, never seen him, because that's what they say when like the city guard comes in. Have you seen this person? Nope, haven't seen him. I mean, they could be sitting there having a pint in the table 5 feet from the bartender. Nope, haven't seen him. No, that's how it works, right? Plausible deniability, deny. But now the bartender knows, and I'm going to have to give the bartender a name, whatever her name is. I'm going to have to give her a name at some point. Maybe you can help me name an NPC. So that's where we're going to go with that. But anyway, so it takes them probably a good hour. They don't want to be seen walking right up to a noble's house. Obviously, they don't exist. And obviously, they have to get into the old part of the city, which means there's a guard here. There's a guard right here. And I would argue that maybe to go into the old city, you have to have business in there, or you have to have a contact. And so it also could be that maybe some of the guards are a bit more friendly in other parts of the gate. So maybe that's another reason why they didn't go to this gate. So let me see. We have how many gates? We have how many gates to the old city? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 gates. Given the Thieves Guild in the city, probably one or more of the city guard is on the take, especially somebody who may be working the gate. So Bexley might say, well, we need to head to a specific gate because, it's Mayor's Day. So, that's when, Tim and James work North Gate or Dock Gate or East Gate or Temple Gate or something like that, or East Gate. Actually, not a bad idea. Let me see. So we have We have 5. So we have Docks Gate, we have Merchant Gate, we have Temple Gate, we have uh, Drax Gate. So let's say they have to go to Drax Gate. It's Mayor's Day, so we're gonna have to go to Drax Gate to get into the old city. Otherwise, we could go to any of the other gates and maybe we won't get in. So Drax Gate is up here, and that will require us to go through. And I would say this is not an ugly part of town, but it's not fun. I don't know a lot about the Drax Gate area of Freeport. Let me see. What's number 3? Let me see. I'm going to boost the text on this thing quite a bit here. Number 3 is Tent Town Mission. Okay, so we're going to have to go past the Tent Town Mission, and my guess is that is a place where people who've fallen on hard times, live. This looks like it's everything's a bit close together. There's a bit of shanty town going on here. Report Institute, number 5. Anyway, so there are, they're very much like alleys or very short, close together. I would say that some of these buildings might be in somewhat disrepair, disuse. It's not a place where you would want to necessarily hang out. Nathan has definitely spent some time in Drax End, but it is not a place you want to stick around at. Tent Town, fortune telling, find some odds and ends here. There might be a random stall where you can get food or what have you. This might be like a soup kitchen. This Tent Town mission here. So they're gonna scoot around between the wall. I would say that there might be they call it a tent town, but my guess is it's a semi-permanent structure, maybe built around a tent, which was the symbolic tent town at the time. But it's a nice place to shinny around. The inner and outer wall here is probably not a very nice place. I would say it probably smells, or it provides cover because it's a city wall, but nobody controls that end of the wall. So they come up here, and it's pretty fairly well walked because you've got this trail that walks through here. So people will walk around. It gets a little nicer as you get up to this point, and Tim and Tom are right here. Bexley says, hey guys, we've got some work in here today. We're going to go and hang out. We're going to go and hang some new roofing on the. I don't know. What would we call that? I would say Tim and Tom. They would say we're hanging. We would say to them, we have a code word. So we're going to show our writ, and our writ has five gold pieces in it for each of them, and we're going to replace some shingles on some of the tombs. This is our work order. Ching, clink, 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 clink. Tim and Tom, the guards. Tim and Tom are town guards on the take. Take a look at the writ. Take a look at Bexley and myself. Have I ever met them? Do they know me? I'm going to say 30%. 30%. So 30 and lower is a yes. And that is a 13. So they are aware of who I am. Maybe I've had some dealings with them before. Maybe this is the first time that we've done our little tete-a-tete back and forth to get into the inner city. They take a look and they're like, sure. Hope you it's going to be a warm one today, so you want to get that done as soon as you can and get out, get back into the shade. Which I don't know is code, but it's more like if you get caught, we're not going to cover for you, right? So whatever business you're going to be doing inside of that town, you're going to need to do it quickly. Of course, people tend to not ask about you leaving; they just ask about you coming in. In this case, we're going to continue on down through this way, and we make it. Okay, I don't think anything else happens. I can't imagine anything. What you do find when you get into the old city is things are different, and everything just feels. You can tell there's money here. There's old money. It's a lot of a lot of different people in this area. The architecture is way different. This is part of the original part of the city that was settled before the other parts built up, obviously called the Old City. It was where the original docks were, I think, in this case, but over time, as silt and everything is built up, that's why you see the docks where they are now, because the silt has built up and has extended the dock out beyond where it is. That's probably not in the Freeport thing, but it sounds good because I mean you've seen that a lot where cities have expanded because silt or buildup, or maybe they've dredged it up and made more space because obviously this is an old fort or something like that. So you've got battlements up here as part of the defense structure. So that may have been on the water at one time, but they realized, hey, maybe we need to have a bit more space. So at some point in the past, they had dredged or they had built up the dirt around in this area and created more warehousing, more docks, that kind of thing. Building that they are visiting, where uh, Jasper Minsby is, it's opulent. It's filthy rich. I mean, it is dirty, dirty, dirty rich. It is. It's probably one of the taller buildings in town, minus like the temples and stuff, where you see that over here in the Temple District. You can still see the tops of these spires in the distance. But in the old city, this is one of the taller buildings, right? Other than the tombs or whatever they call these things here. Let's see, this is 3, 4, and 2. So what are 3, 4, and 2? Guardsmen facilities. 3 is the courts. 4 is the tunnels. 5 is supposed to be the Raters Guild. I don't know what that is. It's fine, whatever. Uh, we'll repurpose it for our own work in this case. So it is opulent, and I want to because it's so opulent. I'm going to ask if they know who Jasper or the Minsby family is. I'm going to say because of the opulence, because of where they live, and we may have to retcon some of this. I'm going to say 75 or lower is a yes. Oh, 95. Hmm. I don't know. 95. Interesting. Yeah. Um, hmm. That is interesting. Okay, well, Nathan has been in the old city, but maybe doesn't know specifically where the Minsby family was. I mean, this is fairly emphatic. Like, they don't know who the Minsby family is. Does Bexley know who he is? Fuck, no. Hmm. Okay, well, in this case, so the Minsby family maybe is fairly new to the area. You know what? No, what we're going to say is um, the place they were directed to is this place. Maybe this isn't the Minsby Mansion. Maybe this isn't the Minsby Mansion. We're going to retcon this a little bit. Maybe this is where they can be found. And maybe we have to use the Ratters Guild. Maybe the guild is some kind of gentleman's club slash like hotel. Visiting nobles can stay here, and it's opulent, and it is, um, yeah, yeah. So what are we gonna call this? We got to call it something really nice. We got to call it something really nice. So they are in the Golden Toad. Golden Toad. You know what? I'm actually okay with it being a guild hall, but let me see what we would call it for a name. So it's the headquarters of the Steel Syndicate. That's what we're going to call it. Now, I'm going to ask them if they've heard of that before, and I'm going to say that's probably about an 80% or lower. 23, of course. So 23 and 60. All right, so both of them heard of the Steel Syndicate. They have not heard of this gentleman. Steel Syndicate is a group of adventurers, and it is a club for adventurers. But it is owned by a group of adventuring party that have, retired from. Now I gotta write all this shit down, right? Steel Syndicate, and so Jasper Minsby is a noble. He's an adventurer, right? He'd be staying there. Maybe pays his dues and he stays there.